single mom shit is starting to get to me. Okay? It's starting to get to me. Y'all, this shit is so fucking hard. I make $20 fucking dollars. And I'm raising 3 kids. So 20, the school's like, oh, you can either pay the $156 or they can't go. So I paid the $156. And now my rent late, so now I gotta pay like $1,900 fucking for my fucking rent, right? My 2 older kids, they have their dad, and then Riley, my little one has a dad. Their dad paid child support, so I don't have to, worry about it. Like, I use his money strictly for the kids. Like, I asked her dad, like, oh, can you help me? Like, can you help me? Y'all, keep in mind, this nigga wanted the baby. Like, keep in mind, this nigga had my ovulation tracking his phone. Keep in mind, this nigga planned to get me pregnant. Like, So I asked him, like, oh, to foul her. He like, okay, cool, this, that, and third. He fouls our daughter, y'all. Tell me why he fouls her. Months go by, and I'm not hearing nothing. Like, almost $4,000 for her, y'all. He don't work. He just think, like, oh, yeah, you doing too much. Like, it's fine. You'll get through it. Bitch, I can't.
Nah.
Y'all say, oh?
No, I said no. It's an easy one. Go back to your baby dad. Go back to your baby dad. That's easy. Go back
Stuff
to your
like that
dad.
makes me laugh. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, they just want to be sad about a situation they put themselves in. So it's just like,
right.
Notice she said he planned the baby. A man cannot plan a baby. The woman has the last decision, right? The woman has the last decision for the baby. So how does he plan the baby? She made a decision to open her legs up. So what's she talking about?
What is the objective to making videos like that?
to get sympathy.
What do they want us to do?
They want
what should we do?
They want us to be like, oh, boo, boo, boo.
It's gonna be okay.
No, they want women to be like, okay, what's your cash app?
Right. GoFundMe.
It's just
crazy.
Like, if she wanted help, like, I don't know. I think in today's society, $20, I mean, whatever. But in today's society, if you already was struggling with 2 babies prior, you put yourself in that predicament. Plus, you stayed in an expensive place. So it's all your choices. Like, I just don't. And then in that video, it goes longer, but I didn't want to make it a whole 5-minute clip. She keeps on bringing up her baby daddy. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. Like, she's shifting the blame onto another man. Like, I think at times when I hear like single moms complaining about their situation, I don't feel bad for them. If I can go many years without being a baby mama, why couldn't you? Like, I just, like, you can't complain about your choices at all. Like, you did it. You slept in that bed raw. You got a baby. That's on you. And then 3 baby daddies is wild. You didn't learn the first time? So no, I can't sympathize.
Yeah.
Oh, she got 3 baby daddies.
She got 3 baby daddies?
I missed that part.
3, 2, one is
okay.
One should even happen, but it was 2. My bad. Correction.
Well,
so bad decision.
Jazz from the Cape for. Watch this. Go ahead, Cape for.
What I was gonna say was, like, we've been shaming these women for so long about being baby mothers, but we ain't shamed none of these women into not being baby mothers yet. What is going on? Like, why aren't they feeling remorseful for these bad decisions yet? As much as
we're not really shaming them
because they got women around them who go condoning with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
She made a video like that.
That's what it is.
Keep your head up. It's gonna be okay. You're still a great mom, and this, that, and the third.
Girl, I made it too. You can make it yourself. Just pull yourself up.
It's gonna be okay. All of that.
One time is enough, but 3 times it's like, girl, you like it here. You like the struggle. You like to, put yourself in these predicaments. I'm just like, as much, as many think pieces and like the dragging of the single mom, you should be wanting to avoid that title at all costs. And then you go and you do it 3 times. I don't know. I guess.
Well, the problem is that when you find community, it makes it okay.
Yeah.
And so if you go through and you look at the comments of a lot of these women, a lot of times it is other women that is going through similar situations that make it okay to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, when she first posted that video, people sent it to me. So I did a reaction to it. And apparently she got wind of it because my reactions going viral. And so she made like some complaining posts about me and put me all on her profile and shit like that, right? Then she realized that it was just even going even more viral and the comments didn't go the way that she thought that it was going to go. And so she removed it. And that's when she started changing her position and her mindset and started thinking differently about the situation. But it wasn't until I said what I said and it didn't go the way that she wanted it to go that she then started to have a different mindset. Prior to that, what happened was people sent her a bunch of money that helped her pay her daycare and helped her get out of this situation. And then a couple days later, she was right back in the negative because she was irresponsible with the funds that they sent her. But my point is that when you then have a community of people that look for solace in the same things that they're doing, and they look at you as a representation of it, you then A, become responsible for how you know what I'm saying, how you impact them. And then B, it enables more bad behavior, right? So the minute, if you feel like the outcast, then you're forced to change. If you're surrounded by a bunch of successful people, at the very least, you have no choice but to adopt a similar mentality because that's what your social norms are. If you are around a bunch of people that's losers, chances are, if you are a loser, you got a bunch of friends that's loser, you're not going to be super successful hanging out with a bunch of losers. That's just not normal. Because in most of those situations, you wind up finding yourself back being a loser. You don't see a bunch of baby mamas hanging out with super successful people. You usually see baby mamas hanging out with a bunch of baby mamas. And so what we basically see in society today is that because you can then segment yourself out and find your tribe, people don't look at it as, oh, I'm being accountable. People often at times reinforce their social norms to continue to be a baby mama because they're around a bunch of other women that make them feel like it's okay. Right? When you're around people that care about you, they tell you the truth. When you're around the people that just want to feel good about themselves, they all tell you what you want to hear. Because they're looking to feel better about themselves. They're not looking to better their situation. That's the difference. That's the only reason why you will see, okay, shame is happening, but they don't look at it and say, oh man, I'm being held accountable. They look at it and say, oh, you angry at me, or you just feeling some type of way, you must be hurt, or maybe you got some trauma in your life. And then everybody else go through and do the same thing. I had countless people coming in my comments to say, Anton, I can't believe you did this. I had people sending me emails. I read it on the morning show and all of that stuff. And I'm like, so you not met? One lady told me, she says, what if God turned a situation and make your situation the same way? I said, well, I can't be a baby mama. That's number one. And number two, why would God be mad at me for pointing out your errors, but he not be mad at you for having children out of wedlock? Like, it don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I think that people look for community. They don't look for accountability. You gotta either be forcing an accountability or you gotta look to find it. And the only way you look to find it is if you hit rock bottom. A lot of these people, they need to suffer. You have to suffer before you pull yourself up. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over because you ain't got nobody to hold you accountable. That's the problem with baby mamas. Baby mamas hang out with other baby mamas on the internet.
So
It's the same thing with it. It's the same thing with incels.
So how do we stop the baby mama epidemic
You
if they
can't.
all hanging together?
You can't. You just gotta embrace them. You gotta
Women
let.
have to shame it, and we don't.
Nope, that ain't even
We
it,
don't.
Molly. You just got listen. You gotta identify them for what they are, and have a good time with them, not a long time with them.
Anton, they gotta change the laws. Remember how you used to always
No,
say,
let them rock. Ain't nobody listen.
just
Ain't
saying.
nobody gonna hold
We're gonna
nobody
have
accountable no
a
more.
bunch of baby mamas, and then we're gonna have on the other end of the spectrum a bunch of childless women. It's not gonna be any like happy medium of women that are married and having families. So something has to, like, some type of dialogues do need to start happening, or we're gonna have just society's gonna get worse and it's gonna collapse more
It's
because
already
of us
collapsing,
women.
Molly. We just here for the
Yeah,
ride. We
yeah,
not
true.
trying to fix this shit. We just enjoying the ride at this point.
I'm not. Yeah, I have my popcorn. I'm just watching everything go up in flames at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You save who you can and you let the rest of them drown. That's it.
I think
Fuck them.
women should definitely make better decisions when it comes to sex, just in general. You know, if you are having casual sex, you need to be utilizing protection. You need to be making sure that either you have a contraceptive or he has a condom or whatever the case may be. Sex doesn't always have to equal pregnancy. You know what I mean? There are ways to enjoy sex without a baby, but to have a baby every time you have sex or you end up knocked up, you're not
Jazz, you know ain't
taking.
nobody using no rubbers no more.
Hey, Jazz, I can't
Well,
tell if
that's
you
the
trolling us,
problem. But
Jazz.
can I finish?
Rubbers is out of style, Jazz.
That's weird.
That's
No, it's
why
not. It's normal.
You
Because
say
here's
it's
the thing.
weird.
Because the thing is this: we're complaining about single motherhood, but then in the same breath saying I ain't finna wear no condom. So you're taking a risk of creating more single mothers with that mentality. If you're a guy that's out here saying, or a woman that's out here saying, I'm not trying to have kids, I'm not trying to be committed, I'm just having sex, but I don't want to wear a condom, you're a part of the problem. There's no way around that, because you can prevent this. If you have the mentality that condoms are cool, then don't complain when a baby pops up. Like,
Jazz,
you
let
could
me
have
ask you a
prevented this
question.
forest fire, but
Let
you
me
lit
ask
the
you a
match.
question. Let me ask you a question. And it's nothing that I could ask you that you could like justify
But I
with
know
like
I'm
going
stupid,
look.
y'all. I'm stupid.
Jazz, I'm about to ask you a question. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is not a question where it's like data or anything that you can reference. I purely just want your opinion on this. How many girls you think that lay down and they say, hey, you make sure you put on a condom? If you had to guess the percentage of women within the culture of the community that actually ask a guy if he got a condom, what percentage of women do you think lay down and ask a guy, is he gonna put on a rubber or not?
I don't know.
Guess.
Probably very.
But it's not a right or wrong answer. I just want you to guess what you think the percentage of women is.
I don't know. I would have to analyze the data of the baby mama. Like,
No, you just gotta guess. Just a
Girls
purely
like it raw
speculative.
too.
I
I
don't
think,
know who.
okay, I don't
It's just
know.
a purely speculative guess.
I don't know. Maybe like 5 to 10%. I know the number is really low, but I don't know. It's very
That's
low.
fair. That's fair.
That's a good.
It's
Okay,
very
so
low
let's assume.
because
So let's assume that it's 10% at the high end. That's not a lot.
no, I agree, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we're causing these issues as women. You're online complaining about your baby daddy checking your ovulation, but girl, you could have prevented this. You could have took the steps to not get knocked up by not one, not two, but three of men that haven't even taken you seriously. They don't even respect you enough to make them your lady in their life, but you laying down letting them drop a load in you. There's something wrong there. So
For
that's why I'm
sure.
like, we have to like figure out the conversation, because if we really don't like this epidemic of single motherhood or just children being born out of wedlock, we have to all do our part into saying, yo, everybody needs to. Nobody should be talking about condoms are weird or nobody want to use condoms. That's a part of the problem. When people have that mentality, they don't think they need to protect themselves because the feel of sex is more important than preventing an unwanted pregnancy. That's
Jazz,
it.
can I ask you a question? Is it more the man's fault or the woman's fault, Jazz? I just want to ask you.
Is it more on the man's fault or the woman's
I
fault?
just as far as a kid sexually, is it fault on the woman or man? Because I'll watch you, so I just want to just see your
You
opinion.
watch me?
Yeah, I watch your takes and I respect your takes. I just want to know right now, do you feel like when it comes to pregnancy, is it more of the man's fault or the woman's fault?
I think the woman, you should know better. When you enter that room, like, forget what he's talking about. If you are not trying to have a baby, you need to come in there with that mindset. Yes, I want to have sex with you. Let's have sex. But if you don't want to use a condom, because if you don't want this baby, you need to be saying, wear the condom. If you don't say that, there's a risk of the kid. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like we lead in that. We lead in that. It's like I know I'm not trying to get knocked up by you. I just want some dick. So I'm gonna make sure that I move so I only leave this with some dick and not your seed up in me. There are a lot of things that I can do to prevent this.
I don't think that the solution is going to be education or contraception or condoms or anything. I don't think that that's it. I think that the only way you can start to make a dent in this thing is it's your cultural norms. It's to teach people honestly that they have to take relationships and getting married more seriously than the sexual part of it. If you approach it from the
Yep.
sexual part of it, I think you're gonna always have a losing battle because people give into temptation. If you
Yeah.
start to have a preventative mindset and preventing people from even putting themselves in that position by changing your cultural norms and say, hey, you got to get married. Like if people force people and say, if parents and households and they stayed together and they started to set the expectation and say, hey, you got to get married. Ain't no you can go on date. Ain't no you can go and find yourself. Ain't no none of that shit. You have to. If you gonna open up your legs, you don't have no choice but to get married. If you set that precedent instead of keep trying to be all kids' friends, I think that then you'll start to have a different outcome. But until then, you can do as much teaching, give as many condoms out as you want. I don't think people gonna do shit with that. Once they get in the position, they already fucked up. And so you got to take a more proactive preventative measure. Otherwise, you're not gonna make a dent in this shit.
So, so you're saying the
I
best
definitely agree.
you're saying the best proactive and preventative measure is setting the standard that you shouldn't even be having sex until you're married.
Correct.
Is
Yeah.
this a standard that we're going to hold for both sides?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the expectation.
Okay. So how do we go about enforcing that now?
Well, you can't. That's what I said. It's got to be a cultural norm. It's not cool right now to not have bodies. For example, we act like them as many more bodies you have, the cooler it is, or you should date around, or all of this other type of stuff. That's our culture is fucked up. Is what I'm saying.
I
Like the
definitely
minute
agree.
the minute that I say, yeah, man, listen, I've been married for a long time. Motherfuckers act like that's people be acting like I'm crazy. Like you know what the saddest thing is to me is that when I say I've been married for a while, people say that that's rare or you must found a unicorn. We're so used to being fucked up and having fucked up parents and fucked up lives and all of this that the expectation is for that to be it. We don't have no dedication. We don't stick with it. We don't figure it out. If I say, hey, you need to stick with the person that you had a kid with, no, because I'm feeling bad right now and I'm not feeling free. It's like, don't nobody got no purpose no more. Everybody goes based off of how they feel. You know what I'm saying? We just got a fucked up culture, honestly.
That's a
It
fact.
should not be. Everybody used to be married when I was growing up.
You
I
think
wasn't
it's
used to seeing people just being out and about and not be married. Every guy that I work with in the plant, he was married. I ain't just talking about my family. Like it was normal for you to get married. Now it's not normal no more. Women ain't even interested in being married. They just go off to college and they fuck everybody.
do
Anton,
you
you
think
think
men right
social
now?
media is
Do you
the
think men
reason?
right now? Do you think men right now are highly interested in being married?
I do. Most guys that I know, incredible, even the successful ones, want to be married. If you ask most men, do they want to be married?
Do they want to be
Most of them
husbands?
say that they want to be married.
We don't want to
But
be.
most of them also say they do not want to be subjected to the women that they have to deal with in order to be married, the women that's available, and the family court laws. They definitely afraid of losing everything once they become successful.
Yeah.
But most men want to be married. They just don't like the conditions that's presented to them.
Mm. Well, that's tough.
That's a good way to put it.
That's tough. Yeah.
I still think though that, and Styles, you brought this up earlier. You mentioned that for the most part men haven't changed.
Mhm.
And to a certain degree I'd have to disagree with that because there used to be a time where, for instance, like shotgun weddings. We don't have shotgun weddings anymore. Like back then, if you came together, a man and woman came together and they conceived a child, there was shame there out of wedlock to the point to where that man would even say, if you are carrying my child, you are now mine. There also wasn't any situation of, okay, well then if I get put on child support, then that'll just be that, then I'll just pay that. I'll go and find a wife somewhere else because she wasn't that. Like, no, if he got her pregnant, that was then his wife. He said, you're mine now. And that happens less and less today. So I think that's another factor there as well. I don't feel bad for single mothers today. I truly don't. But
But
I think
most
that that is
guys
another
that
factor.
y'all getting the most
Anton,
guys that y'all having sex with and getting pregnant by already got babies everywhere else. Like these are not guys. The guys that y'all fucking is not the local guy in the town in
Baby
your
daddy.
city or whatever. Right? Because again, y'all are spreading yourselves amongst the same guys. They just be in different cities.